Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. Alrighty then. No, this is not Bruce Almighty. This is not Ace Ventura. Somebody stop me. That was the one thing I didn't say. I was fortunate enough to receive an alumni distinction award, kind of surprising, for the graduation ceremony this past weekend, and there was old Rubberface himself in the second row. But I behaved. I didn't upstage. I don't know if you can upstage that man. He did quite a job with the commencement, that's for sure. And also, Peter Coyote in town. He's done 6 voiceovers for Ken Burns movies. A very successful actor, part of the Vintage Power Wagon troupe. He's not going to be here next week for the rally, but he did get a new Vintage Power Wagon. He's been a Vintage Power Wagon guy forever. So it's like Celebrity Central around here. And speaking of which, FMC's in the house. No. It's time for, you heard the music. I know what it's time for. Like Pavlov's dog, it's time to catch up with city business. I know it was we're a day late, but not $1 short because of a little thing called Memorial Day. Michael Halley joining us from the 4th Ward to catch us up to City Haps. What's up?
Glad to be here as always.
Good to see you.
Yeah, it is Wednesday rather than Tuesday, but that happens sometimes when a holiday falls on the Monday that we would regularly have our council meeting.
Hope you had a good Memorial Day weekend, by the way.
Hope you did as well. Yeah, if anyone's paying any attention to what was happening last weekend here in Fairfield, Jim Carrey was indeed in town, making the rounds, not only giving an amazing commencement speech at the university, but also stopping by everybody's, going downtown, and just being a friendly, easygoing guy, getting a lot of pictures taken. Just a real warm-hearted guy. So maybe we'll see him around again at some point.
And I love he's finally done a sequel to Dumb and Dumber, and it's Dumb and Dumber 2, spelled T-O, which of course thrills me because it's a play on words, but it's subtle.
You guys could be cousins, you know.
Well,
it seems that way.
Yeah, I didn't get any. Our good show host Kevin Hosbon, Wayward El Camino, he got his son's book, How Roland Rolls, of all coincidences. I said, how does he know Roland? But that's a different Roland. But anyway, his children's book, and Kevin Hosbon got it signed, and great picture, those selfie things.
Yeah,
so
yeah, it was fun.
It's a good age to be around, and it really was a lot of fun, a lot of coverage for the city too.
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, there's national press, Fairfield, Iowa. So thank you, Jim Carrey.
Yes.
And there's a great picture of Jim making the president of MUM do a face palm where he told him that they spelled his name wrong on his doctorate certificate. And the truth is, I've seen this from a lot of alum who attended MUM, that it's good to see the administration relax a little and be able to laugh at themselves a little bit.
Well, I love in Bevan's introduction on the award ceremony. No, I think it was during the commencement. He said, and laughter is good for the physiology, and it makes one's blood pressure and all. It was like, it was pretty cool. It's like scientifically,
there you go.
The amount of laughter, $3.5 billion worth of. I remember Jim Carrey back from In Living Color when he was the one white guy, and that's when J-Lo was Fly Girl before she was even J-Lo. It's a long career, but anyway, certainly
Fire Marshal Bill is one of my favorites.
We showed some. If you haven't seen Fire Marshal Bill, that is some. It still scares me just thinking about it. He's basically with his face peeled back almost like a skull and his arms on fire, and it was like it was striking.
Yes.
Anyway,
well,
that said,
enough about Jim Carrey.
Yes.
This is a review of our regular May 27th City Council meeting. It's not nearly as fun and exciting as Jim Carrey, but
we'll be the judge of that.
We will try. All right, we got some events coming up. We had 4 public appearances from various organizations. I'm going to go in the order of the actual events rather than the order that we saw them. The summer reading program at the library. That event is happening Saturday, June 7th. They'll have some outdoor activities for kiddos. I think it's kind of marketed towards kids to get them reading during the summer. My kids are avid readers, especially my daughter Lily. And I just think reading, I'm a big proponent of it. It expands your mind and just gets you kind of engrossed in, even if it's fiction, just something that gives you a different perspective. So hopefully kids...
We used to say reading is fun, remember?
Yes, we did. And then it was books are fun.
Yep.
Yeah, but both are fun. So hopefully school kids will get involved with the summer reading program. Kicks off June 7th at the library. So we approved the street closure for that, just there by the library. Will not interfere with Doc's Inn. So anyone wanting to eat at Doc's Inn that Saturday, you're good to go. The next would be Sophia, the Italian.
Yes.
All things Italian, yes. So that's coming up June 14th. That's a Saturday as well. So we'll have the square closed off a little bit to accommodate for all the fun activities, the cannoli and the pizza, and there's going to be, I'm going to imagine there's going to be some lasagna, and there's going to be Italian ice, and that's just a little bit of the food. There'll be entertainment. Just anybody's been here, you know it's awesome. It has been rained out, I think, 2 years straight, so rain gods or weather needs to comply here and not rain us out again. They do have the Arts Convention Center Pavilion set aside, but it's just not the same going in. So let's hope for beautiful weather and come out and enjoy the day. We also were able to scrape. It's kind of like when you finish the peanut butter and there's just that little bit left and you're like just really scraping for it.
Yep.
We scraped together some funds to support the event a little bit. So that was a little bit of a show of support. Good job, Sophia. Keep up the good work. Should be a fun event.
What year is it? It's a big tradition, isn't it? Is it 7 years? Or
yeah, it might be 7 years.
Somewhere
now.
in there.
Yeah, it's been a while. All right. This wasn't on the agenda, but just chronologically, we might as well mention Fairfest coming up on June 20th through 22nd.
What's that? I've heard a lot about it.
I've heard a lot about it, too. It's a free music festival. Starts Friday night. Saturday goes all the way through Sunday. Some amazing acts. Los Lobos will be there Friday night. We're going to have, there's going to be a beverage garden for, the grown-ups who want to have an adult beverage. That's part of the mix now. It's just going to be even better than last year. That's hard to imagine. Last year was pretty incredible. So another Fairfield tradition in its second year. It's going to be great.
Well, thanks. And, of course, working with FMC, we're hoping to do some live routing of the event. KMCD doing the lion's share, equivalent size package as Ragbri. Tammy Jones, I cannot say enough about her. Steve, a separate stage on the town square with some great acts there, including Bluegrass and Chad Elliott, a great Iowa singer-songwriter, Dave Zolo, and also Jan Carl and the whole damn band. And I think I maybe got that name wrong, but there's just great stuff going on there, great stuff at the Sondheim. Beth Howard, the Eldon Pie Lady, is going to be featured as part of our writing track. There's going to be I Renew Solar Traveler. We're hoping that might be enough power to run the beverage garden. We're working into looking at that, have the sun do that. But a lot of great stuff. And, of course, not only Los Lobos Friday night, David Lindley, who performed with Jackson Browne. By the way, Jackson Browne, good friend of Peter Coyote. He jams with Bonnie Raitt and Taj Mahal, and his eyes he said, David Lindley's coming? It was, and before that, it's Chonga Tropical, which is a 9-piece Cuban band, and that's not even to Saturday and Sunday yet, so lots of great stuff. But we'll be hearing more about that. Thank you for the mention.
I had to mention it, just because June is a very full month of activities. The next item we approved was the Jefferson County Fair parade route. So that will take place on Tuesday, June 24th. It's the parade, and then the fair lasts until, I believe, the next Monday, or I think until the 30th of June. So keep an eye open for that. And then the fourth one is the 175th anniversary of Fairfield. We made it.
Sound effects.
Yeah. We made it to 175 years. We approved a parade for that as well.
You know what they say, the first 175 years always the toughest.
Yeah.
So if you can get past that, pretty much
exactly.
Pretty much home free.
There you go. All right, so that's a weekend of activities. It starts on Friday the 4th of July with the Art Walk downtown. It's going to be great fun. I think there might be a dunk tank, and I think I might be in that dunk tank.
Oh, yeah.
We'll see. Then on the 5th, there'll be a parade.
By the way, for people who may not know what that means, probably everybody does, but it means you sit upon a perch and people get to pitch their softballs or something at a little target, and if they hit,
you go
whoosh.
Yep, you splash into Not a whole lot of water, but enough to catch your fall.
Just enough, right?
Just enough, yeah. I like it cold. Some people don't like it cold, but I'd like to be the first one in. It's cleaner and it's colder.
We know you like it cold, Mr. Solar Plunge, but that's a whole other...
Solar plunge, I like that.
I mean, what is it? Polar
plunge. I like the solar plunge.
Solar on the brain, folks.
We should think about somehow doing a solar plunge.
Well, you know what? We've got something. You can see it right out front here. Yeah. Michael, you better watch it.
All right.
You're connected too many places. Anyway.
Yeah. All right. Solar plunge. I like that one. All right. So then Saturday the 5th, farmers market in the morning. We'll have some fun activities. Then at 2 o'clock, there'll be a parade downtown. And then starting at 4, there will be activities out at Waterworks Park. So that'll include food vendors and entertainment. Then that evening, there'll be live music. And then the big culmination, fireworks show. Not on the 4th, the 5th, but hey, day late. Like you said, not a dollar short. We're going to put on a better show, I believe, than has been done in Fairfield for a number of years.
That's such a great family event.
Yep.
I still remember with my family, that would be such a big deal, going out together and late at night when you're a kid and things blowing up in the sky. I mean, how much better does it get?
Yeah, I got to, celebrate the anniversary of our country by blowing things up.
There you go. And keep fending the mosquitoes off. Oh, don't get negative now. It's easy done.
Well, the next day, it keeps going. Sunday, there'll be a car show down on the square. And that's the Heartland Rod and Custom car show that hasn't actually happened in a number of years.
Huh.
So that'll be downtown. And again, some live music. So very musical summer ahead of us. Those are all approved, by the way. So, this is just a shot, like a word to the wise if anyone's interested in an event that would include a street closure. First, talk to the police chief, Julie Harvey. And once you get your ducks in a row with her, come to the council and we will 9 times out of 10, 99 times out of 100 or more will say, sure thing. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of the council. We're nice people.
So again, just to say that if there's something you're doing that could require a street closure in front of your work or some area, the first step is going to Police Chief Harvey and just saying, this is what we have in mind. How does this fit in?
Yep.
And they've had so much experience doing that. They'll say, okay, let's look at these issues. And if you go to the council first, they're just going to say, have you talked with Chief Harvey?
Yep.
And so that's just word to the wise.
Yep. It's just,
And repeated too. So there you go.
Yeah. Thank you. All right. Our resolutions, action items, ordinances. We had a couple of tax abatement applications for new constructions. Always good to see new construction, home construction in Fairfield. Had a little budget amendment for the fiscal year 13-14. Essentially, we had budgeted as if we were going to take out the $3 million loan for the new pool and gym, but we didn't. So we had to remove that. We accepted a land gift. This was nice. Apparently, part of O.B. Nelson Park wasn't owned by the city, part of the land that O.B. Nelson Park occupies, but it was used by the city, and there was an agreement with the owner. The owner then passed that parcel of land on to the Greater Jefferson County Foundation, who then bequeathed it to the city. So now the city owns the land on which its own park is located, which I think is neat and clean for any future. Actually, speaking of future, have you heard about the skate park that's going in there?
I have. It's exciting.
Yeah, it is.
It's the downward dog bowl.
It's like a bowl, with these curves. And
so it takes advantage of gravity from where you stand.
There you go.
All you have to do is take that leap of skate.
Oh, wow. This is getting profound. If you want to have input on that, you can find the Facebook page. I can't remember what it's called, Fairfield Skate Park. Look it up. Have input before it's just fully designed. But it's going to be pretty cool. It's going to be done this summer, and that was funded by generous support of an anonymous donor.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. We all appreciate people that step up for the community. Is there a deadline on that?
For the input? I'd say pretty soon. I know they're wanting to get the design ready.
Okay, so anyway, if you have ideas on that, show up soon.
Yep. We approved the 28E agreement with the Fairfield Community School District regarding city-owned recreation facilities. Essentially, there's a lot of sharing that goes on, but for the purpose of hopefully attaining funds from the state CAT grant, Community Attraction and Tourism, they wanted to see a formal agreement between the city and the school district in terms of who was going to do what how I scratch your back, you scratch mine. Let's put that in writing. So it essentially listed things that are already happening in terms of shared use of facilities, and then some promises for how the school district could help with the maintenance of the new gym, which, assuming they will use quite a bit. So one thing would they could refinish the floors when they need to be refinished, maybe do some custodial service, etc. So we approved that in time to send it on to the CAT grant, who's still deliberating in terms of how they're going to slice up the pie for all the various projects that they have around the state. I think we're not going to hear back from them until maybe June or July in terms of what we get and how much. Fingers crossed. All right, we accepted a deed transfer. This is essentially, the next two items were just little legalities of the road that the city is building in front of Pilot Grove Savings Bank. So that's that new bank you see across from the hospital. And so the city agreed to put in a road, and what's funding that are the funds that will come from the property tax generated by the bank. So that's what we call TIF, tax increment financing, where improvements are made to an area and paid for by the new development in that area. So it's very self-contained, and so that means that it doesn't come from property tax in terms of your or mine. It comes from that district, that TIF district, which out there means the Pilot Grove Saving Banks. So it's a win-win. They get the road to the bank. City gets a nice road that people can use, hopefully, to turn the corner at some point, head east, and have some housing development out there. That would be really lovely at this point. We need it. And only the people in the TIF district, in this case Pilot Grove, are paying for that improvement. So it works out for everyone. We're moving forward on a big borrowing, about 3.6, not quite, but a little under 3.6 million. We're about to issue the notes and essentially put the bonds out, and somebody will give us a good rate, and we'll say thumbs up. Could be a local bank, could be anyone. It's just open to whoever wants them. But the city is borrowing $3 million to move forward on the outdoor pool, indoor gym. 400 some thousand for that frontage road I just mentioned in front of Pilot Grove, and a little more, I think maybe 40 for some improvements. It was a little more than 40, might have been 80 for some improvements to pedestrian crossing at 9th Street in Burlington, which is by what's the name of the movie place? I haven't gone there in so long. Movies America?
Family Video?
Family Video,
yeah.
Thank you. Movies America. What am I, in the 90s?
70s, I think. No, but I say that all the time, too.
Yeah, you got it right. Family Video. That intersection, it's a little funny because 9th Street doesn't line up, has that little funny joggy thingy. And that pedestrian underpass that goes under the highway apparently has been closed down for some time. It
was always a little bit funky.
It's a little sketchy, Do I want to go in there? It's, who could be there or what? You just don't know.
It's just a little funny, yeah. So and I know there was somebody hurt there at that crossing not that long ago.
Oh, really?
Not underneath,
okay.
but it was just an accident. Those things happen. It wasn't.
Well, just to remind people, we are upgrading. The city has a project upgrade the crossing at 20th in Burlington, which is there by O'Reilly's, Pizza Ranch, and Burger King, and Empty Lot. So there by Hy-Vee. And that is a partnership with the county, who received a community transformation grant to fund improvements like this. It's interesting that with the blue zones and then this grant, they're very similar in that they want communities to make physical changes to their environment that encourage health and wellness. So adding trails or making it easier for people to either bike or walk are big ones that a lot of communities are doing. So this will make pedestrian and bike crossing at that intersection safer. There'll be colored crosswalks. So it won't be the nice brick we have downtown, but it'll kind of look that way, but it'll just be colored cement. And then we'll have a left turn lane for traffic traveling west and wanting to turn south. We'll have their own turn lane with their own stoplight, and that's safer. And then there'll be pedestrian crossing buttons. So if a pedestrian wants to cross, press the button, then the light can change for them. And so basically beefing up safety down there. We want to do something similar at the 9th in Burlington in anticipation of increased, now basically it could be kids coming to the pool, going to
that makes
the
sense.
new gym. So that's part of that borrowing. And then we have to pay for the land. The Fairfield Economic Development Association was very kind and fronted the city the money to buy the property. It's called the Whitney property that runs west of the rec center, and that's where most of the new gym will be built. And a trail will be put on and additional parking and all this. So it was a very vital part of the whole project. The city didn't have the funds at the time. FIDA lent the city the money, and in order to pay it back, we included that in a TIF district that is a different bank. It's the bank on West Burlington. I can't remember exactly. It's a community first. Yes.
The credit union.
Sometimes my brain comes through for me, and I'm really happy when it happens. So Community First Credit Union just built a bank. That is its own TIF. Again, just like we're doing with the frontage road, using the property tax generated from that new to make these improvements, not right by their property, but along the street. So
good people out there.
Yep.
By the way, speaking of which, no, that's too self-aggrandizing. I'm James Moore. This is Michael Halley, 4th Councilman, City Ward. Choose the words in the order you like. Every Tuesday after City Council, we do this, except today's Wednesday because there was no actual Monday because it was a holiday. Yep. So this is being heard Wednesday, 12:30, but it'll be rebroadcast the regular times Thursday, dinner time, 6:30 p.m., and then the following Monday, 6:30 a.m., and it's a way keeping you up to snuff with what's going on at City Hall. And right here on solar-powered KRUU-FM, broadcasting from the Cultural District in Fairfield, Iowa. Shout out to our FMC cohorts who also videotape this. Right, Jason? Right, James? Okay, Michael, back to you.
All right, so the point of the borrowing that I want to make is it's $3.6 million. That's a lot of money, right? Like, how are we going to pay it back? So the $3 million we're paying back with a mild property tax increase that was voted on by Fairfield citizens in 2012. 2/3 said, yes, let's do this. The other, again, like I said, is specific to these TIF districts and specific to the property tax of the properties within the TIF district. So those new properties will fund those upgrades. So this is not a general, let's just borrow a bunch of money and make the taxpayers pay it back. It was the one piece, the majority of it was a vote. So that's democracy in progress, and the other is self-contained within the areas of the new development.
Great.
So let's see. We move forward on step 2 of the wastewater conveyance project. Everyone loves this project.
So I'm beefing it up a little bit.
I like that.
Did you say the wastewater project?
I did.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's happening with it now?
We're getting ready to move to phase 2. Can you believe it?
Wow. Well, we've been talking about it around the kitchen table at home a lot.
You must be bored out of your mind.
That phase 2 of the wastewater project. Tell us. Sorry, we've been talking to Shakespearean. Stephen White's got a play this weekend, so
Stephen White would be able to take this material and make it interesting, but I'm at a loss. It's basically
much ado about what?
Poo. It's fixing the sewer lines. Phase 1 was a certain distance from the plant, basically over by Whittam Woods by the golf course. And then this will be further towards moving west into the city. Phase 3 is the rest of the city. So it's broken down to phases basically to make them more bite-sized. I mean, still each one is big. It's a lot of construction.
Not the best metaphor in this particular, but anyway, go on.
To make it value. I'm thinking toilet paper.
Yeah, let's elevate. So we're talking about phase 2, and this one. What's the length of it and all that?
We'll know when we get there, but it's
a work in progress.
It's a work in progress. Yeah, I mean, phase 1 hasn't physically been started, but we're looking ahead. This is engineering for phase 2. Engineering always comes before the construction. The mayor's report, he had nothing.
What?
City attorney, nothing.
What? Wait a second. Let me just listen, Mr. Malloy. I just want to say on your behalf, I saw you with with William Shatner boldly going forth where
Oh,
no
that's
mayor has gone
right. We
before.
should talk about that.
Mr.
Yeah.
Rustin Lippincott, your wing man there, and talking mightily nicely about this little town-ly place.
Moving America forward.
That's right.
Yeah, check it out if you haven't already seen it. Is it on the FMC? It's on the Fairfield Media Center webpage and Facebook or YouTube page, and probably Facebook.
Nice. And it is YouTubeable as well.
And it's on Channel 9, local.
Fantastic.
So if you're a big fan of Channel 9,
Excellent.
tune in.
And who isn't?
Yeah, exactly. Who is it?
Right, Jason?
All right, I got a quick...
He's a big guy standing there with a shovel.
I got to hit this last one real quick.
And a shovel, I don't mean phase 2. Oh, my goodness.
Here we go. Listen to this. We are currently without a city administrator, but we have so many capital projects. I mean, a lot. And so French Reniker, engineer Melanie Carlson has been working closely with the city on a lot of projects.
She's quite colorful when she reports, too.
Yeah.
At City Council.
Yeah. And so she had been working with the city clerk, Joy Messer, who basically has to fill the shoes of the city administrator every time we're without one, which has been kind of a lot these last few years. And so they talked about beefing up Melanie's role while we're without an administrator to just make sure that these projects stay on track. So I'd say it was about a 30% increase in what we were already budgeted to pay her. Maybe it was more like 25% increase. You know, it went up to from 4,000 something to 5,000 something a month, which comes to about 15 hours a week of having her dedicated to these projects. I view it very temporarily. Councilwoman Jessica Ledger-Kalin agrees with me. We would like to encourage, we're not on the personnel committee, at least I'm not, but encourage a personnel committee, which is 3 members of the city council. If you're listening, personnel committee, please move forward quickly on finding a new administrator. This idea of waiting until September, to me, is not smart. The sooner we get started, the more choosy we can be. We can do round 1. We can see what kind of applicants we get. We can rank them, and if we don't want to pull the trigger and say you're the right person, we do round 2. We can just take our time, make a very good choice this time. Not saying we didn't in the past, but I've been part of hiring 2 administrators now, neither of which panned out. And so I'm looking for the Goldilocks story here. I'm like, 3rd time's a charm. We're going to find just the right fit this time.
Well, I just want to say, I know we're just out of time here, but I don't want to get into an inter-city council thing here. I respect all y'all's judgment how you come to this, but I think sooner is always better than later, and that's always been my middle name, which comes after my first name, which is why I don't usually get there on time. That said, Michael, I want to say thank you so much for coming in, and I guess it's just too much celebrity. I've lost my mind. Some would say that's a better thing. We've been talking with City Councilman Michael Halley. Any final thought, Michael? Besides somebody,
I don't have
somebody stop me.
I really think you must be related to Jim Carrey. Distantly.
I have the rubber face for it. But anyway, we're out of here, folks. Thanks so much. City Business with KRUU-FM and FMC. Be beautiful because no one does it better.